Hi, LSO students. My name is Carrera, and today I will be talking about Lisa Nakamura's article called Racism, Sexism, and Gaming's Cruel Optimism. From what I can understand, this article is about how the gaming world is geared towards a certain gender. Can anyone guess what the gender may be? Correct, it's males. When I first read this article, my first thought was, oh, let's see how many girls versus boys there are in our class. From just a rough estimate, there are around 18 females and surprisingly around 15 males. What does that tell you? Well, it tells me that the world is becoming a more gender neutral community. Okay, back to the essay. The first line of the essay was confusing for me as I am not a gamer at all. So I thought to myself, what is Gamergate? So for my friends who are not gamers, here's what I found. Gamergate is a name given to an online game community that deals with the ethics and the movement in online games. It first started off with concerns about ethical corruption of video game journalism, but then quickly became an opportunity to involve the culture of gaming into the identity of the gamer. So, how can we change this notion or thought about how women play the game? Well, a little later on in the article, Lisa Nakamura explains that a woman called Carol Stable did a study on gender swapping as a form of making gender in the game of World of Warcraft, where she interviewed and saw their skillful play as a way to uplift within the game. One player that she interviewed said it was important to play the game and play it well as a female too because it communicated a positive message about female identity, that women could be powerful, strong, and excellent players. Lisa starts off with explaining that her students were a key to her writing this essay. They inspired her to write this essay on how racism and sexism affect the gaming world. She then explains that two strategies to address gaming's racism and sexism. The first strategy is to rehabilitate games by diversifying game makers, and in layman terms, that means that they believe hiring more women and programmers of color is the way to teach industries how to make diverse games. The second strategy, she explains, is about how people suggest that female and non white gamers are the ones who are the problem. In my eyes, the world should be equal. Isn't that what people fought for in the 19th century during women's rights movement? I have a hard time believing that females and non-white gamers are in fact the problem. When I was younger, the joke was that women stay in the kitchen and should never be let out. In the article, they explain a similar situation. It reads, a buddy of mine was playing Halo once, and a bunch of other players were hassling a female player really bad, calling her a cunt, telling her to make them a sandwich. The quote then later says that she's an amazing player and it shut them up. In my eyes, it's sad that that needs to happen for men to take women seriously in the game, but apparently it works. During my research, I found an article called Sexism in the Century, Female Participation in a Male-Dominated Popular Computer Culture by Michael Huron, Pauline Belford, and Ace Gawker. During this article, they explain cyber mob harassment and vilification of girls in gaming. Anita Sarkisian does a series of YouTube videos where she discusses her feminist critiques. I then later connect the fact that I have already seen the video in the second week of the course. How ironic. In the movie, she explains a commercial where a woman gets up and starts to get ready for work when the narrator asks, what will she wear today? Then proceeds to put on some sexy lingerie. On the opposite hand, they show a male doing the exact same commercial and it just doesn't seem right. So what's wrong here? People think that just because she's a woman, she should wear something else? How is that fair and how is that equal? It just blows my mind. Going on to the topic of race. I strongly believe that there is no way we can change the world with thinking that different colored people are quote unquote different. In my eyes, it doesn't matter what skin color you are. It just matters if you are a good person. With that said, it seems to be that the dark-skinned race is definitely discriminated against. For example, in the article, it goes on to explain a black teenager, Michael Brown, who was shot by Darren Wilson, a white police officer. This blew up the media, as people have strong opinions thinking that Darren Wilson shot Michael Brown because of his color. The incident then started hashtag Black Lives Matter, which is now widespread. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have some new insight on the article that I did. Thanks, bye.